Welcome, I'm Morwenna, and today's video is about our shadow side, how to best cope with our shadow when it comes up, and what role does the shadow side have in life. This question was asked to me, and if you would like to have a question featured on next week's channeling video, then you can just send me a DM or comment on my last Instagram post. So let's hand it over to my team of light and to see what we can learn about this topic today. So we would like to begin today by saying that many of you may well be experiencing the shadow side of you as was described, or parts of yourself where you feel triggered with an emotional response. And so these things are linked to or described as the shadow. It is essentially part of yourself, part of your psyche that has been disassociated from, or in some way repressed or broken away from. So this can happen through a multitude of events in a lifetime. This can sometimes happen when difficult situations or experiences in life create a big emotional response that is unknown of how to be dealt with. Not only this, but sometimes whenever you have an experience, especially at younger age, these experiences can then be personalized and internalized, and also then a sense of self formulated upon an external circumstance. So something can happen, and you can then create a meaning of what this means about yourself and your personality, perhaps not a particularly positive one. And then this event can also go unprocessed and left to the side for quite some time. And what this means is that then in life, if similar situations take place or other situations happen that then trigger or remind of those, say, wounds or unprocessed parts of self, then a negative internal response can come up and a questioning about the sense of self as well. And so essentially what can happen is these triggers, these unassociated parts of self can be brought up in order to be processed later in life. And if many of these go unprocessed, so you will know which ones are your biggest triggers, as they will affect you the most emotionally. If you go through life and have certain situations, certain types of people, certain types of experiences that trigger within you a deep and strong emotional negative response, that's a key sign or factor telling you that there is something underneath there that could do with smoothing out and being peace brought to. And life in itself will show you these parts, these shadow aspects or these wounds of the past to be processed, as it's inevitable that you walk within or tread within these trigger points in your life. And when you are bringing up or feeling part of what you call your shadow self, it's not to judge it in a negative way. It's to know that it's part of the human experience. You are one huge range. You have the shadow side, and you also have what can be called as a golden shadow. And you have everything else in between. You have a whole range of emotion and psyche within that. And so it's not to feel guilty or bad when these trigger responses, when these emotional responses come up, but it's more about having the space and to allow yourself to deeply feel what is coming up and the emotion behind it, and to allow it to be there and to feel it and to bring peace and acceptance to it, not further rejection, which created it in the first place to compact and to stay within you, but giving it space to be able to be felt and processed will allow for this to then heal and be released. Meaning that the trigger factors or trigger points in your external world that would once cause such an intense emotional response within your internal experience will have a lessened effect or perhaps no effect at all. This is why you can see within challenging situations that some people are more negatively affected, whilst others can walk away completely blissfully unaware. So it's not necessarily the external situation that's the problem, but it's the internal landscape that just needs a little bit of rearranging and peace to be brought to. So we feel that this would be one of the best ways to be able to heal and bring peace to these parts that call attention to them. You see, if they continue to go as they are, they can in turn sometimes hold you back in certain areas of life. So if from a young age, perhaps you were led to believe by your own internalization of external experiences that you were perhaps not good enough or unlovable, for example, and this then continues and goes unprocessed, the individual may then find it difficult to enter into a loving relationship or to have success in another area of their life, depending on what it is that was internalized and then also to some level rejected. Not to worry about these things, as we said, life can show you where these are and what they are for your personal history, for your personal story. So each moment gives you the opportunity to heal and bring peace and transform these darker aspects of self. Now, this is not the label that we are giving it, but we are simply using this terminology in reference to the question, as we feel that this will be what will be most widely understood at this moment. In the grander scheme of things, this is just a natural part of the human experience. And with your awareness, you can bring peace to this and you can transcend these. So these offer you the opportunity for expansion, growth and evolution as you work through the layers of these unprocessed parts of yourself or experiences. Then you will find more lightness each time. And you'll be able to see this change in your external circumstances as well. Essentially, there are also blessings within what you label the dark side or the shadow self or the dark sides of self. And these are self-awareness experiences that help one to learn more about oneself and to break into the illumination of patterns and habits and parts of self that no longer need to be there. So it's a natural part in the evolution of the human experience into lighter and lighter ways of being. If you enjoyed this video, just give it a like. And if you gained any insights that you would like to share, then please just comment below, because I would love to hear from you. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you in the next one.